Hey, everybody. Listen, welcome in the building. It is Saturday night, trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. If you're here, I'm trying to get whatever this is on my shirt off. If you're here in the building, do the diva a favor, hit the like button. That's all I ask of you is hit that like button. It really helps me out. Hit the like button, people. Share the video if you want somebody to join in on trending topics with the diva. So it's Saturday night trending topics, and the title is simple. It's called Hero to Headlines. Hero to Headlines. You know, the government employees are still going through it. Prayers to them. The people with the SNAP benefits, although we saw that the government, was telling Trump, you gotta put the money there. Some of these people still are not getting a dime. Just imagine yourself if you are working and then all of a sudden you just not getting a check. Imagine if it was you, the recipient of these SNAP benefits, and all of a sudden, the money's not on the card. My heart is really going out to these people, work and no pay. Yes, thank you, Savannah, for that. Imagine you had to go to work every day, Monday through Friday, or wherever days you work your 8-hour shift or your 12-hour shift, and you're not getting any pay. It's horrific. But we got one TSA worker that raised some money so that his fellow workers can just have gas money, just the gas money to get to work. We're going to talk about it because it's real and people are really suffering and people are really hurting. To all the people that work in the pantries, God bless you. To all the people that donate to the pantries, God bless you. To those of you that are helping out your family members, that's the same thing. Maybe you can't get to the pantry because you helping out your own family members. God bless you. It all matters and it all counts. So blessings and prayers. So all of those right now that are really going through it. Then you know what? As much as we want to think that things have gotten better, I don't know if things are just worse, but in a different way. We got to talk about it every now and then because it's real. Racism still exists. It does. And it's bad and it's hurting people. Really, I will never wrap my mind around it, how just because the color of somebody's skin, they are disliked. It just baffles me. Because you believe in this religion over that religion, you're hated. Because your skin got a little color to it, they hate you. It's just sad, but racism still exists, and we got to talk about it because this young man, he played football all his life. His parents did the right thing. The parents stayed together. They love each other. They raised a loving child. They took the child to football practice. They supported this child who wanted to play football. The child did so well, got a scholarship to the college to play football and go to school. Gets to the college, he's the only black person on the football team. They called him the N-word. They said, don't you sleep in trees. They treated him so badly. And we often say, well, parents need to step in and help their child out. This mother wrote a letter to the school, the coach, and everybody in between every single day until somebody answered her. When they answered her and the coach spoke to her in front of the president of the school, the coach said, oh, I know those kids' families, and we're going to give them a second chance. The coach also said, because the coach is a former NFL player, that when I was playing in the NFL, I had black friends. That's the most infamous word when they want to claim they're not racist. I got black friends. He said, I got black friends, and we used to do racist jokes all the time. Sir. And he the coach. It may be a rough night for some of y'all, but we got stuff to talk about. So if you here, hang with the diva, because over here, we talk about the tough things and we have the conversations and we agree to disagree sometimes. And sometimes that's what has to happen. But you can't fix what you're not willing to have a conversation about. We got to talk about it. And there's power in the people. Target is suffering right now. Thank God to Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant, you need to push the charge at some of these other entities so that change can happen. Target is suffering. And Target was the place to go. Come on, Savannah. Grown folk talk tonight. And I told y'all know I tell y'all the truth over here. I still go to Target, but I go to Target nowhere near the time I used to go before. I used to live in Target. My local Target, they knew who I was. Now I barely go there. Go there when I have to. When there's certain things that I just know Target has it and I know where to get it and I could get it quick, grab and go, and just, that's when I go. But I don't live in there like I used to. But we're going to talk about this young college student, and I feel for him. Then we're going to talk about this teacher. She was once Teacher of the Year, Hero of the Headlines. That's the name of this title tonight. We got this teacher who was Teacher of the Year. One year she was Teacher of the Year. This chick, you know what? Let me tell y'all something. And I'll keep it 100 with you. Relationships, they're great when they're great, and when they're not, they're not. And when they're not, they're not. What happens is, what you need to do is, you gotta let that thing go. Whoever you are in a relationship, if the person no longer wants you, you gotta figure out how to let that thing go. And if y'all got kids together, you gotta figure out how to just be co-parents in a good way. You can't force nobody to love you. Her and her baby daddy broke up. He got a new chick. She goes to drop the kid off at the school or to him or whatever. They get into it. The punches went to flying. She tried to run him over with the car allegedly, and now she got locked up. If you know that you and your child's father no longer get along, why don't you get a third party to help you with this drop-off situation? And if there's no third party, because you may say, Diva, well, we ain't got nobody else. There's nobody else that can help me. That's fine. There's no third party. Before you go to drop your kid off, you pray. When you go to pick up your kid up, before you pray. And you pray when you leave and when you come back and all of that. Because, honey, sometimes there's some things that literally prayer is the only thing that's going to help you. Because it's real. People want to pluck your buttons. And then here it is, if your partner's in a new relationship and you not, you may feel even more pain. And that's when you got to look above and you got to pray. Because does it hurt? It hurt like hell. Yes, it do hurt. But see, what we need is more people to tell us how to get through that pain, because the pain is real. But it's going, listen, one thing with me, I'm not going to jail for nothing or nobody. The pain will not override my common sense. I'm not going to be running you over. I'm not going to be trying to put my hands on you. Now, when I pull off, I'm going to be cursing and crying. But I ain't about to get in no fight or trying to run you over with a car. Next thing you know, I'm locked up. Because the pain is even greater then. When you hold on to hate, when you do all of that, it's hurting you more than it is hurting the other person. So now you locked up. You went from Teacher of the Year to getting locked up. Control your emotions. Now, this particular person, I didn't put them on the docket tonight. They might be on the docket tomorrow night. There's this woman who killed the pastor and shot his wife. And she want to talk about, you hurt me, talking about the pastor. You hurt yourself. Because, first of all, you said you went to the pastor for counseling. And day 2, you started sleeping with him. So he was the counselor, the pastor, and he was a married man. And let me tell you something. Close your legs to married men. He wouldn't have been able to hurt you if you had a standard where you wasn't sleeping with somebody else's husband. Is he a dirty dog? He is. But sis, close your legs to married man. Now you about to do 15 years in jail for what? And I gotta say this respectfully. I ain't never laid down with nobody where it was that good that I'm willing to go to jail for nobody 15, 20, 30 years. No. Could never be that serious. But listen, people, y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to bring the people on in the building. I need a one in the chat. I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Hero the Headlines. And I see y'all in the chat. A lot of y'all giving me different names that I could have named this title tonight, and I appreciate y'all, okay? Yes, it could. What is it? Shame and Scandal. That would have been a good one. Yes. But listen, people, now I'm going to bring the people on in the building because we got the TSA worker. We got racism in a college, and we got this teacher gone too far. Let me bring the people in. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, In My Opinion. Hey, Callie.
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Hey, chat. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. Listen, people, you know where I think I'm going to start. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with the TSA worker because all of these stories are heart-wrenching, right? I'm going to start with the TSA workers. This story is really about the one officer that raised the money for the gas money, but I just want to tell you how this is really impacting the people. So I got a short story of this one person talking about, the impact that it is having on her and her family. I think this is it. Let's do this.
Pawns on a chessboard. We're people.
Good morning. Good morning.
They don't understand what a government shutdown is. My daughter made a comment the other day, well, Mommy, you can just go to the bank. What parent wants their child to see them struggling and upset and crying because you're worried about not only where the food's coming from, but we're right around the corner from the holidays.
And we'll keep on playing to the end.
They want to send a list to Santa. And how do you sit there and hear them talking about that and know that this year you may not be able to pull that off? It's heartbreaking.
Breakfast.
Okay. It's these simple moments, Mom Maggie Sabatino making breakfast for her 8-year-old daughter Kenzie and 9-year-old son Callan, that lately have become more difficult. All because Sabatino works for the federal government.
We were told if you call in sick, you have to provide medical documentation. When I call out, I tell them the truth. Can't afford childcare.
For the last 13 years, she's worked as a lead TSA agent at the Philadelphia International Airport. Sabatino's also the executive vice president of her local union chapter. But now she and roughly 1.5 million other federal workers are going without a paycheck, struggling to make ends meet. And it's not her first rodeo.
Completely different than the last one we went through, which was considered to be the longest in government history. This one, there is no support from TSA's leadership in Philadelphia.
Her last paycheck was on October 11th and far from what she normally gets.
Full taxes come out of that. By the time it's done, you're receiving $104. That's not a paycheck. That's supposed to carry you over through a shutdown. This is the little bit that is in here. You have some raviolis. This is enough to hold over for maybe another week. The fridge is pretty much empty. All of those bills are due at the beginning of the month. And there's no pay coming in to pay them. They gave us a letter for us to give to our creditors. Most of them don't accept it. They want their money.
She's contemplating applying for SNAP benefits, once called food stamps. But as this government shutdown drags on, now the longest in U.S. history, SNAP is out of money.
This is the first time in history that SNAP benefits were not issued fully to individuals, not even during the first shutdown, during the first Trump administration in 2018 to 2019, where benefits issue half or delayed as they're being done at this moment.
When you went up and applied for emergency SNAP, they also gave a list of pantries as opposed to giving you SNAP benefits.
Sabatino and so many others may now have no choice but to rely on the help of food banks.
You do what you have to when you have kids. They have to eat.
Like millions of others, Sabatino's path to her present uncertainty started on October 1st, when Democrats refused to approve a temporary spending bill unless Republicans agreed to extend expiring Obamacare subsidies so premiums don't rise for millions.
How long do you think this will go, Mr. Speaker?
I hope it's short.
The motion is not agreed to.
The motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
The motion is not agreed to.
Democrats are just saying, look, it's time to do a budget, to put it together, but we don't think the budget should cut healthcare access for 15 million Americans and drive up costs for every other American.
SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times.
My Democratic colleagues are united in the fact that Trump and the administration can do this, not this weekend, tomorrow, today, right away.
The shutdown first forced the closure of some federal facilities, and all government workers stopped getting paychecks. Then, a month later, the USDA said funding for SNAP benefits had run out. 42 million Americans, roughly 1 in 8, rely on the critical federal food assistance program. The Trump administration is pledging to partially pay SNAP benefits for November to comply with a court order. But it's a waiting game, with no certainty of when that money will be dispersed.
The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money.
In this now record-breaking shutdown, many families are struggling to put food on the table.
The majority of people on SNAP are white Americans. We do know that a lot of red states have a lot of high food insecurity. For example, Florida has one of the largest people on SNAP, followed by Texas. So if you look at it as a whole, regardless of whether it's blue or whether it's red, do have people who are struggling. Unfortunately, majority of people on SNAP are working. It's just that our country doesn't pay them enough.
With no end in sight and still forced to show up to the airport as an essential worker.
Make sure you have gas in your car because they want you to show up to work every day, even though we're going on the second pay period where we haven't received the pay.
Sabatino feels the government has left her behind. She now keeps this letter explaining she's working without pay on the dashboard of her car.
My inspection stickers are expired. They expired in October. I've already been stopped once by PPA, Philadelphia Parking Authority, letting me know that the next time they see my car, that they're going to have to ticket me and I can take my letter to court with me. Yeah, so that's another thing on top of that.
Adding to her worries, she can no longer pay for health insurance. And her son takes medication to treat his autism.
He's got about 14 pills left. When his medication runs out, I'm not even sure how much it costs without a prescription plan.
That particular one ended there. Let me just add, this is sad. Tara, thank you so much for all your super chats. Much appreciated. Former TSA officer raises thousands for airport workers who can't pay for gas during a government shutdown. We are all trying to stick together, says James Drake, who attended a free car wash for TSA officers. A former TSA officer is helping raise money to support airport workers in Atlanta who have not received a paycheck amid the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. They're feeling unseen. They're feeling unheard. Organizers Caleb Herman Marshall, who is the founder of the travel newsletter Gate Access, told CBS affiliate they're feeling forgotten because they're going through this. On Wednesday, November 5th, Herman Marshall worked with Caliber Car Wash to host an event at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. TSA officers received free car washes and gas cards. The federal employees who lined up were grateful for the assistance, according to the outlet. Makes me feel better that my car was good, James Jake, an officer, told the news at the event. We are all trying to stick together. We're family. We help each other out. Philip Simmons, who has also worked with the Transportation Security Administration for over 2 decades, has lived through another shutdown, but this is the first time he's gone without pay, according to the report. It's not a good feeling, Simmons told the news. Sometimes you wonder, okay, if you're going to impact somebody, why are they impacting us? The shutdown began on October 1st and became the longest stretch in American history this week, according to the New York Times. The impact has been felt by people across the country, from SNAP benefits hanging in the balance for 42 million Americans to furloughed workers fearing they won't receive back pay, despite the Trump administration legal obligation to do so. On Friday, November 7th, hundreds of flights were canceled as part of the cuts mandated by the Federal Aviation Administration to lessen air traffic as controllers continue to work without pay, the paper reported. TSA workers are also feeling the strain. In the donation page for gas cards, which has raised $3,600 so far, Herman Marshall said the TSA officers are required to report to work, but many can't afford the gas money. The most significant pain point I'm hearing nationwide is transportation costs. Herman Marshall, who did not immediately respond to people's request for a comment, told the Washington Post. He said that the funds will be used for gas cards worth $50 apiece. The officers know they're required to report to work, he added, but they can't because they don't have money for gas, leading them to call out. The support is appreciated during the financial strain. I have broken down at work before, Simmons told the news. I stepped to the side, I cried, and then I remember, what is it going to solve? Push right back and get back to work. This thing is really impacting so many people. It is incredibly sad. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, I can only imagine that if the TSA are affected by this, what air traffic controllers are. You know, now we need the TSA to make sure people ain't bringing, weapons and all this stuff on there. But can you imagine you not getting paid and you got to try to do your job 100%? You don't think some of these workers are going to be pissed off and ain't checking all the stuff? I'd like to see them do something like this for the air traffic controllers. Think about it. You got somebody not getting paid and they want you to do your best and show up. And you got all these bills that's due. Do you think they're going to be 100% concentrated on those planes? Just the other day in Boston, a Delta flight coming from Paris was cleared to land on runway such and such. Another air traffic controller sent this other little plane on to take off. And the little plane flew under Delta. That's not supposed to happen. These people are being overworked, no money, and they still are expected to perform. It's ludicrous. Like the lady said, they want you to become an essential worker. At some point, you're running out of money. I mean, this stuff has got to stop. Something got to come to a head. That's it.
Yeah. Savannah, I'm coming to you. I just want to share one more thing, and then I'll come to you. The struggle is real, is very sad, and all of those that are stepping in and doing what they can is just greatly appreciated. Sorry, guys.
Capital, where the government shut Robina Forts and Evans. We start tonight with a live picture from our nation's capital, where the government shutdown continues. And we just got major news from the FAA. The agency says it will reduce airline traffic by 10% in 40 high-volume markets starting on Friday to maintain safety in the skies. And the reductions are Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said almost 50% of delays yesterday were due to staffing shortages. And all of this happening as Airlines for America is predicting over 30 million people are expected to fly over the Thanksgiving holiday. That's so many folks. And because of the shutdown, a former TSA agent hosted an event today to help out his former co-workers, and our Brian Unger was there. And I understand a whole lot of other people were there too.
Hundreds of TSA for this. 50,000 TSA officers are working without pay, and many are calling out sick. Not because they don't want to work without a paycheck, it's because they're looking for a second job to stay afloat. Today, a small gift made a difference for hundreds in Decatur.
You wouldn't think a free car wash would make a big difference in a person's life, but for TSA officers who haven't been paid in 2 weeks, were the idea of Caliber Car Wash and Caleb Harmon Marshall.
I understand how hard it is right now.
The founder of the travel newsletter Gate Access, a former TSA officer himself, who calls these officers friends.
They're feeling unseen, they're feeling unheard, they're feeling forgotten because they're going through this.
TSA officer James Drake is getting by on donated meals at work, dipping into savings, going to food banks. He and his co-workers trying to survive.
We're all trying to stick together, we're a family, right? So we support each other.
Philip Simmons has worked for TSA for 23 years. This is his second government shutdown, but his first without pay.
It's not a good feeling. And sometimes you wonder, okay, if you're going to impact somebody, why are they impacting us?
These workers speak of needing second jobs, trying to pay phone bills, making mortgage payments, maintaining child care. The emotional costs are growing too.
I've broken down at work before.
You have?
I have. I stepped to the side, I cried, and then I remembered, what is that going to solve? I pushed right back out there and got back to work.
Do you think you could absorb another month of this, 2 months of this, 3 months of this? When would it get challenging?
Personally, I think another paycheck might make me at a more of a position where I'm really searching now to see what we're going to do.
I appreciate what everybody's doing.
There is consensus here that more and more workers will call out sick, that the system may have reached a breaking point.
When we are having these individuals work these high stressful jobs, now under financial stress, we are putting aviation in whole in danger.
On the front lines of a government shutdown, TSA officers are becoming casualties of a political battle they didn't choose.
At the end of the day, it's like, you're working and I'm working, but you're getting paid, but I'm not. What did I do to be on the other side of not getting paid?
That's real, Brian. Absolutely. And, a lot of people have questions about the gift cards and wondering, of course we know in this case they did, but are the gift cards actually getting to the workers?
It's a really good question because so many people are giving gift cards to workers at the airports, and the answer to that is yes, they're getting through. The workers there told me today they prefer gas cards and cards with grocery stores aligned with them that allows them to buy whatever they need to, but they are getting to the workers.
Okay, good stuff there, Brian. Thank you so much.
So sad. So sad. Savannah, your thoughts?
Thank you, Diva, for bringing this story to the panel tonight, because I think it's necessary, and I think they actually need to be playing more and more of these stories on all medium realms, whether it's social media or traditional media. I think these stories need to continue so that the people can see that folks are really hurting out here. Communities are having a hard time. People are having a hard time, and it's and missing another paycheck. It's going to cause people to look at how they pay rent, how they buy groceries, pay for their utilities, and what makes and on top of that, we have two major holidays back to back that people usually, around this time of year, we're starting to get that Christmas spirit and planning for Thanksgiving meals and family visiting, or we visit family. But that's not what's, I'm not seeing that right now. I'm not feeling that from people. And I live in Virginia. I work in these, in the realm. I have been affected as well. It's a challenge. It's not only does it mess with you mentally, but also physically, emotionally, and financially. It puts a strain on your overall health. I worry about uh, the SNAP benefits not being approved because a lot of families depend on that benefit to for their children to have food. But with the also the education system being gutted and a lot of programs that affect these children that go to school, and some of them go to school and lunch is a good meal for them, or they go to school and have breakfast, but those programs are going to be cut as well. And next on this administration's agenda, it's going to be Medicare and Medicaid, that is going to be looked at as being something that is going to go away as well. So we're just starting to feel the effects of this. I think it's going to get worse, a whole lot worse. Um, I think that the Supreme Court is also playing with the people, and when you start using hunger as a weapon against your own people, I don't think there's greater evil than that. I really don't think, and I question what Bible these Christians read and follow, because that's not the Bible and the teachings that I learned when I was growing up. Because folks are out here hungry and they're struggling and thinking about, and it's not just children. We have seniors that depend on that, on SNAP benefits. And this TSA worker, if you're an essential worker, you are required to show up to work and perform your duties without pay. Then once the government does open up, they will get back pay. So they'll be repaid. But if you are furloughed and have not worked, you will not be paid. So this is a lose-lose situation for a lot of people, and it's affecting. This is a trickle-down effect, because if people can't and don't have money to go shopping, that affects our neighborhood grocery stores, daycares. Like she said, she can't afford daycare, so daycares are going to suffer. There's just so much, and it's absolutely sad and heartbreaking. But sometimes I think this is a necessary evil, and it's showing us a lesson that the way you vote and how you vote and vote, and if you didn't vote, voting matters. Your voice matters, and this is this is really teaching society a lesson. I think we're going to implode, honestly, and as bad as it sounds, I do believe the system is going to implode.
Yeah, it's very sad. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just want people to really understand that the reason why this is happening is because they essentially want to take away people's health care, because they want to raise it to something that nobody is going to be, I mean, realistically, nobody is going to be able to afford to pay that. Um, Also, on top of that, we have to also look at the fact that a lot of cost grocery stores are going out of business or have gone out of business. We have to look at how much rent is being raised, how unrealistic it is for most people to purchase a home. We have to look at all of these things that have happened that are starting to like bubble up. And the thing that really concerns me in a long term is that people are blaming this all on one man, not realizing that there is an entire system that got us here that needs to go. All of these people got us here. It was not just this one man. It happens to be bubbling up faster or more in our face because of some of the things that he's doing. But make no mistake, they were destroying the economy of this country, period. There's a reason why all of these people are now working for other people when in the past they had small businesses, because they allowed things to happen that prevented people or destroyed small businesses. So now we're all depending on working for other people, and now that's not so reliable. And again, like someone said, the domino effect of this is now a lot of these people are looking for other jobs. So now they're in the workforce competing with the people that were already laid off. Because even though these people haven't been officially laid off, they don't feel safe working for the government anymore. So they now want to find another job. This is just a mess. And it's a mess that I feel a little bit hopeless because I still don't think people are waking up. I still think that people are just still talking about red versus blue, and this is this particular administration. Even before this particular administration, you couldn't buy a house the way your parents or your grandparents did. So this is not just this particular administration. This is a series of decisions that have been made to benefit the wealthy of this country that are pretty much eliminating the middle class. The poorer we've gotten, the more and more millionaires have been created. So all of this stuff is really just to benefit them. We have a bunch of politicians that, in my opinion, the majority of them are out of touch and don't even know how much it costs to live a normal life. Like, I promise you, no one ever thought about how these people were going to pay for their gas to get to work. I promise you, no one thought about that. And don't get me wrong, I'm for the Democrats fighting for people to have health insurance, because if they don't have it, that's going to create another problem and another problem and another problem. People can barely afford to pay what they're paying now. So I just really feel like, I'm hoping that at some point before we're living in the Terminator, that people wake up, because we really need a radical change in government and the economy of this country. We really do. We're going to end, I'm telling you, there are many countries on this continent, and probably us and Canada are the only countries that are, fairly stable. There's a reason for that. We're going to be just like the rest of the countries on this continent in probably about a decade, maybe two. That's the reality. That's where they're taking us. And they're all going to be rich and they're not going to care. So I don't know what the solution is, but I do hope that people kind of wake up, and I feel like they're not, because they have this one person to blame. And they feel like if I just get rid of this one guy, everything's going to go back to the way it was, not really understanding that everybody is doing something that put you here. I hate to say it, there were never millions of extra jobs and extra homes for millions of extra people to be here that weren't legally supposed to be here. That has a big impact on how we got here too. That was done by the other side. So the other side is no better. So I don't know. Maybe the invisible hand will step in and save us all. Think positive and have hope.
Thank you, Callie. Again, I'll just say prayers so all of those that are waiting upon these SNAP benefits, prayers to these government workers. And my heart is touched. Often you want to talk about people, doing the right thing. This one man said 20 years. 20 years. He wasn't bopping nobody upside the head. He wasn't in the street selling drugs. He wasn't robbing and stealing from people. 20 years as a dedicated TSA worker. And this man is a grown man. Went and said sometimes he just have to go off to the side and cry and then remind himself that that's not going to help nothing. My heart is breaking for him because listen, work is work, period. But at least you say to yourself, I'm getting paid. So now you got to come to work, not get paid. You're hungry. Your family's probably home hungry. You barely got there because you don't got no gas money. You are really pushing the people to the break of perhaps losing their mind. They're going to tell them if they call out sick, they got to have a doctor's note. I can't even afford to get there, let alone go give some doctor a $20 or $15 copay. This is a mess, in my opinion.
So first of all, I'm gonna say it's sad on every which way that from everybody that's affected by this government shutdown. I have been horrified to see and hear all these stories. I feel like this is sad that we live in America and our people are suffering. Whether you're black, white, orange, Mexican, whatever, everybody is suffering. And we sit here and we see these people that we put in office sit here and tell us it's this person's fault, or it's this person's fault. But we sat here as America and y'all justifying sending 40 billion to Argentina, but you can't supply 8 billion to people that need SNAP benefits. You can't pay your government workers who are working faithfully every day. We can't get people to pay for HUD housing for people that are staying in subsidized housing. But you want me to be okay with you sending our money somewhere else. I find a problem in that. I feel like it's out with the old and in with the new. All of them can go, as far as I'm concerned. Because they don't mean none of us no good.
Mm-hmm.
This is not affecting just one class or one race. It's affecting us as people. These are the people that we put in office to serve for us. And we are the ones that are suffering. None of them have to worry about if they're going to have Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, if their power bill is going to be paid, their water bill is going to be paid, their mortgage is going to be paid, if their kids is going to have a hot meal going to bed at night. But us as Americans, we're suffering with that. Whether you're middle class, lower class, some upper class. That's the problem.
Thank you, in my opinion. Katrina, your thoughts? And wait, before I come to you, Katrina, Jerome, you are correct. We barely have leaders anymore, anybody that's going to stand up and help us lead this task that we need to lead. And that's why I have to give it up again to Jamal Bryant, because Target is completely suffering. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yes, Diva. I'm still at the point where I know TSA is government workers. I get it. But my thing is, if the airport is still open, people are still paying for tickets. People are still paying to fly somewhere. And these people are working. I can see if the airport was shut down, there was no flights out, nobody's buying tickets, nobody doing none of that. But it's still functioning. It's not losing any money. So my thing is, y'all not losing any money. Let's pay these workers, even though they're government workers, but let's pay them. Because they got to come to work to make it, and we need them to come to work. So let's do some type of compromise until the administration do what they're gonna do. Let's get them a paycheck because we're still getting money. The airline is still getting money because people are still flying out. People are still buying tickets. They're not losing any money. So what I'm saying is, so the people that's working for you, they're not getting paid, but y'all are still getting paid. The airport is still flying around. People are still going, people are still catching flights. And the thing is, and I am gonna blame that orange burnt faced man. Because he's pushing all this agenda. The last time he was in office, it was a shutdown. Here he come again and did the same thing when he don't get what he wants. He's just like a petty 6 years old on a school playground that somebody stole his sucker and he's crying to get it back. This is ridiculous. But it's okay for him to have Halloween parties as Gatsby style, which is like a mob style Halloween party, or having five-star breakfasts at the White House with the Republicans and trying to make them do a filibuster to get the government back open because he wants what he wants. He had made all these promises to these other people, and now he better show up, or these people are going to come get him or probably blast him out. He's ridiculous. He's totally ridiculous. And I told y'all this over and over again that they was price gouging. I've been telling you this the whole time. When they talking about Biden wasn't doing, that's a lie. Because the thing of it is, there was no shortage on none of this stuff. Only time when prices goes up was supposed to be a shortage. They did this to make Biden look bad, to say he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, and that the prices of food is going up, and we can't buy eggs, we can't buy bacon. If you eating eggs and bacon every day, you're going to need a doctor's excuse because your ass going to have high blood pressure. So you want eggs and bacon, but you don't see anybody now talking about eggs and bacon. Now you standing out there by the food stamp. Because see, the thing of it is, it was okay you was getting food stamps and nobody knew. Because these fools didn't even know that EBT and SNAP and food stamp was the same thing. They didn't even know that Affordable Care Act was Obamacare. They thought that because it was called Obamacare, they didn't want it. But you got affordable health care, which is Obamacare. But see, you vote against what you don't want, what you think is going to knock another person out, a minority out. But you still getting the same things that you're trying to stop these people from getting. And now you standing out there outside at the food banks, everybody seeing your face, but I don't see not one person with a red hat on. It's sad that these people are going through this. It's sad that they voted somebody in office against their own purposes because they thought they was going to be okay. But see, that's the boomerang effect. You thought you was going to hurt me, and hobby damn, that boomerang came right back and hit you in your forehead. And it's so sad that you out there at the food banks, the people can't even get enough food in there because the economy, which was okay, but they lied on Biden. And I'm not saying Biden was the greatest president out there. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is Biden don't have the type of heart that Trump has. But that's all I got.
Yeah, this is a lot. It's sad. It's unbelievable. It's terrible. And these are real people. I almost feel like they're being used as guinea pigs, right? It's just very sad. It's like, how much can a person take? This mother got 14 pills left for her son. Then what? She has a little bit of food in her refrigerator. The daughter thinking, mommy, just go to the bank. She can't afford to go do her registration over. The money is just not there. This has got to end. This is crazy. I mean, what you want to see families with kids on the streets because these creditors are going to kick them out. Nobody's accepting a letter that you're just not working. My heart breaks. I'm going to roll into the next story, but I will stay connected to this government shutdown and the SNAP benefits. I'm going to roll into the next story with the racism in colleges. It's just very sad. Let me share screen.
Let's go, Deuce. A touchdown that made his dad cheer. A moment that felt like a beginning. Money! He's 18 now, but Brooke Williams has worked for a shot at college ball since he was 5. The Plainfield native chose Aurora University, 30 minutes from home, for the field and the feel.
I went on a visit, I think in like December, and I just really like the culture, and I just like the facilities and the campus, really.
Weeks into his first semester, he says that feeling changed and the locker room turned hostile.
At first, they had made some N-word comments, and I was just like shocked and like appalled by it. And then after that, shortly, he said, another guy said, why are you sleeping here? Don't you guys sleep in trees?
And he was the only black player in that room. He says a George Floyd reference followed, and all he could see was the scene the world can't unsee. Floyd dying under an officer's knee, and fear set in.
You're 6'3" saying this to a 5'7", that's intimidating.
As a mother, I was devastated, to say the least. Our whole family has been affected by this.
Brooke's mom, Aisha, says reporting it felt like a second fight. She pushed for a formal investigation.
I didn't give up. I was relentless. Emailed the president, the vice president, everybody. Every single day, they would give me no answers. Next day, I'm emailing again, calling to the school, emailing, even the coach. I emailed him as well. And so finally, the vice president scheduled a meeting with us, and we went and sat down with her and the coach, my husband and my son.
The school's investigation found 2 players created a hostile environment based on race. Brooke says they kept playing while that investigation was going on. Their initial punishment, suspended from the team and put on disciplinary probation. But after lawyers got involved in an appeal, that changed. They take racial sensitivity training and be back on the field next January. Aisha says a meeting with the coach made it worse. That coach, former NFL player Don Beebe, a Super Bowl winner with the Packers, told them he knew the families of the players accused.
The words that he spoke in front of us and the vice president, I used to be in the NFL. I had black friends. Me and my black friends told racist jokes. He said, I want to forgive the kids like Jesus forgave David for being a murderer.
Brooke never got an apology, not from the players, not from the coach. She says the coach stopped speaking to him in film sessions, even skipped his plays on screen. That, he says, was the moment he knew he couldn't stay.
When we went to get my shoulder pads and my girdle and everything in there, a bunch of stuff was missing. My pads was missing. The only thing that was really left was my cleats and my girdle. A bunch of my gloves, my mouthpieces, my towels, they're all gone.
2 weeks later, a friend texted him these photos. Everything was back in his locker. By then, Brooke had already decided to leave, losing his $60,000 scholarship and his peace of mind.
Honestly, it was hurtful because I've been working so hard. I saved a bunch of money to go to school, and now I'm stuck working again. I can't go back to school until January, and I don't know where I want to go.
The university sent us a statement. It says it takes reports seriously, and federal law limits what it can share. It says every report is reviewed and action follows if there's a violation. The Williams family read it themselves.
The report is carefully reviewed, lies, appropriate, another policy. Yeah. He doesn't feel valued or supported.
Brooklyn says the process left him with one question.
Really, it's just like, am I enough? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
It's a question past students of color have had. A 1987 Chicago Tribune article describes similar racial tensions at Aurora University, from KKK graffiti to fear in dorms. 4 decades later and across the country, race-based harassment reports on campuses remain among the top categories of civil rights complaints. The FBI tracked more than 11,000 hate crimes in 2024, most tied to race. The Williams family says it's shocking, but they're not shocked.
Several of his teammates have vocalized that they're scared to say anything. Caucasian students, by the way. And that's why they didn't speak up for him when he was being antagonized and harassed that night. So I'm not surprised. What we allow will continue, so.
For other families, this is about more than one team or one university. Experts say ask colleges how they handle discrimination, what training teams receive, and how the school ensures safety after a report. All things Brooke's dad, Jerry, wondered. He stayed quiet, a silent support close by, until he couldn't anymore.
If you could speak directly to Aurora's president and board, what would you say?
Listen to this young black man. I'm not here to tell you how far to go as far as pushing or disciplining these kids, but it has to be more than just a suspension to the end of this football season or January. Now you got these kids that went through this situation, they appealed it.
Oh gosh, so crazy. Aisha, I agree with you. Why recruit us if you hate us? This is insane. Let me just share screen again. So college football player says he walked away from $60,000 scholarship after campaign of racist abuse from his teammates. They called me the N-word, 18-year-old Brooke Williams said. A college football player from Illinois said he walked away from a $60,000 scholarship after a campaign of racism and abuse from his teammates. Brooke Williams, 18, withdrew from Aurora universities after claiming his peers made racist comments towards him, including making a joke about George Floyd. Floyd was a black man who was killed by a white police officer in Minneapolis in 2020. They called me the N-word, Williams told the news. Then one of them said, "Don't you guys sleep in trees?" Williams' mother, Aisha, got involved, contacting the university's president, vice president, and Williams' coach every day. They didn't answer me, she said. Aurora University launched an investigation that found two of Williams' teammates had created a hostile environment based on race, according to documents reviewed by Fox 32. The players were initially suspended and put on probation, but after an appeal, the school gave them a slap on the wrist. Williams' teammates had to complete racial sensitivity training and were allowed to play again in January. Williams ended up leaving Aurora University in September after he says the coach stopped talking to him and ignored his plays when the team was reviewing game footage. It hurt, he said. I worked hard for this. Williams said he now has to work until he can hopefully go to a new school to play football in January. Aurora University said it was deeply committed to fostering a safe, respectful, and inclusive community where every student feels valued and supported in a statement to Fox 32. The school added that it takes harassment allegations extremely seriously. Race and ethnicity were the most common motivation for hate crimes in the U.S. last year. Racial and ethnic bias motivated about 53% of the more than 11,000 hate crimes in 2024, according to the FBI. Listen, let me tell you something. I never say crazy stuff about anything. I hope that school never wins a football game like ever. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, I hate to say it, but really the only satisfaction this lady gonna get is that she made them people have to get a lawyer and have to pay. You know, because nothing's gonna happen to them kids. This young man, I think, has a bright future ahead of him. I would shake the dust off my feet, and I think he'd be well accepted at many other colleges and many other opportunities. When one door shuts, another one opens.
Yes.
So I think, you know, I wish him well. You know, that's our future. All right.
Your dog wishes them well too. Savannah?
I agree with Wayne. I think this is the culture of that school. If it's been reported for basically years now that other students have felt this type of racism, and it's just unfortunate that our young kids have to go through this. And it is, I just think he still have an opportunity to go play for a HBCU school. And if he's that good, I think he can make it at another school, play against this school and kick their butt. I mean, but unfortunately, I think that they're probably just going to get some lawsuit money, but I don't think anything is really going to happen to these students that continue to do that, because I think that's the culture of the school, according to their own documents. And they're not going to get rid of an NFL player coach, ex-NFL player coach. So it's unfortunate. I think bringing it to the media, it was the right thing to do, to have the school face their demons. But I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah, very sad. Callie, your thoughts?
I'm sorry this happened to him, but I'm not shocked. Stuff like this happens all the time, but what happens is you have a lot of black people that are like that person that the coach described, that will sit and tell the racist jokes and let you say the N word and laugh at it and all of this stuff. The problem when it becomes when they come across a black person that's not willing to go along to get along, that's when it escalates to this. This is why I am very against, I'm not a fan of black people using the N word, but I'm really not a fan, I'm really very against anyone who's not black saying it. Because I find that once you tell them, hey, you can't say that, they want to fight you. They start acting like this. They was cool with you when they thought you was gonna sit and laugh and joke and talk about how bad black people are and let them say the N-word and all of this stuff. But as soon as you tell them you're not on that type of time, this happens. So I'm sorry this happened to this young man. I always say the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world that he didn't exist. And that's what racism has done in the past 40 years, 50 years. It never went away, it just evolved. So I personally been working in corporate tech since I was like 19. I don't walk around the world feeling like racism doesn't exist. So nothing shocks me because I've heard and seen it all in the workplace. But yeah, I'm sorry to see this. Hopefully they'll get some lawsuit money and at least his college will be paid for and he can go on to another school where people are more diverse or HBCU or something like that and just kind of go on with his life and hopefully they get paid.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, your thoughts?
So I think people fail to realize hate is not something you grow up knowing what to do with it. It's taught. And from the coach's perspective, what he was saying, he's teaching these boys it's okay to use this hateful speech. Because he sat there and was like, well, I used to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I really hate it when people say, I got black friends and we used to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because what's that got to do with anything? I just feel like all of this is crazy because we're supposed to be living in a world where we're free. Where we're supposed to feel safe. And this is the stuff our kids have to see and hear. I've went through 4 different colleges with 3 of my kids already. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not shocking that this is what is being said because this is what happens in athletic quarters. You are going to see people that are ignorant because that's what they are, ignorant. You have to know that if the school is full of these ignorant people, then your child is not going to succeed there. They're only going to abuse your child. I feel like the mother and the son did what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
They got on. Because staying there, they would have set that boy up for injuries and everything else. They were already not showing his plays. The next thing was they were going to set him up for injuries. And he wouldn't have a career at all. So they did the right thing. Because these are what those type of people do. They get back at you for speaking up. How dare you tell what we doing to you behind closed doors? How dare you raise the red flag to tell them that we're racist? That's what they do. This is a way to tell you, bad boy, no more. You need to stick up for your kids. You got to fight harder for them than you fight for anything else. Because guess what? Those are yours. So I applaud this mama and this father for doing what they had to do, for teaching their child the right thing, and for her staying on their neck every day.
I appreciate you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. Did they do the research on this school before he got recruited there?
First of all, you think the research is going to tell you that they racist?
No, I'm saying nobody. I mean, nobody ever came out about this school before.
They bury that stuff. They bury that stuff at every single college, even the black colleges. They bury stuff that go on. They bury stuff that go on in these fraternities and sororities. They bury stuff that go on about these reported R's at these colleges. They bury the stuff about the SAs. This stuff thing don't have nothing to do with a research because they were, and like somebody put in the chat, they recruited him.
That's what I was thinking. Like, why were y'all recruiting him to get him there and to treat him that way when he got there? That case, you just could have told him, well, we're not going to use you this year or whatsoever. And then he got a scholarship. Hopefully, I hope that Deion Sanders is looking at this. Maybe he can get him down to the school where he's at or something like that. And for these people to keep doing these same things over and over again, like I said, racism never left. It was just buried until certain people got into office and feel like they can just bring it out and do anything into these people right now. But the thing of it is, Diva, and it's so sad to say, what our ancestors put up with back in the day, being whipped, chained, and all that, these young kids ain't gonna put up with that. These young kids will take you out. They don't care who you are. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna be, made to go out there and pick this and pick that, and you can't go here at a certain time of night. You can't do this. These kids these days do not look at that as that way. And he's a good kid. This boy is right here. And for the coach to say that I did this with my friends, he's lying. And I hope that he didn't have any patsies around him to allow him to say that stuff to them. So I mean, so they got degraded as well. This is so sick on so many levels. And this coach, he don't even need to be. I know you say they're not going to get rid of him, but if enough people come out and show this story, maybe the kids won't. You got some kids that probably don't want to go to this school and play for this coach. Why am I winning footballs for you when you this type of person? You got a lot of kids that think like that as well. So hopefully, I hope this young man get exactly what he needs in his life. I hope he excel to where he needs to be. And sometimes God does things for a reason because these football players get hit so many times, end up with CTE, have all kinds of problems going on with their bodies. Because what the people do is use them as cows, and once they can't use them anymore, they put them out the pasture. So maybe this happened for a good reason, and maybe he needs to be somewhere else where he can succeed. That's all I got.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll into our last story. And this is this teacher. Once was teacher of the year. Now she running over the baby daddy and getting locked up. It's just insane. Let's see. Where's my video at? I think that's it.
New at 6 o'clock, the Charleston County School District confirms for us that a St. John's High School teacher facing charges, including domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature, has been placed on administrative leave. Somerville police say they responded to Walmart in Somerville on October 18th after witnesses said a woman was seen assaulting a man in a car and tried to hit him with the car. Sade Nelson, seen here in a picture from a Facebook post for St. John's High, is charged after police say she's accused of punching the father of her child and his girlfriend during a custody exchange of their child. Police say surveillance video shows Nelson speeding up in the parking lot and the victim having to jump out of the way of the car, although police say Nelson told them the victim attacked her.
Hold on, I got one more screen to show. So, teacher of the year placed on leave after allegedly trying to mow down baby daddy in Walmart parking lot. A former teacher of the year has been suspended from her job after allegedly trying to mow down her baby's daddy with her car in the Walmart parking lot. Sade Nelson, a 2025 award winner at St. John's High School in Charleston, South Carolina, allegedly assaulted the father of her child and his girlfriend during an October 18 custody exchange. Nelson, 37, allegedly punched her baby daddy and his girlfriend, and witnesses reported that she had attempted to ram him with her car, police said. That's her mugshot. The father claimed to police he had opened the passenger door of her car to pick up his son when Nelson began punching him repeatedly, causing him to fall to the ground, according to police reports obtained by the Daily Mail. He said he fell out of the car trying to escape her blows. Security footage obtained by police showed Nelson driving her car directly at the man, according to the report. That's her getting her Teacher of the Year award. That's the school she works for. She is charged with third-degree assault and battery, domestic violence of a high aggravated nature, unlawfully placing a child at risk of or causing harm or willfully abandoning a child. Nelson claimed it was her child's father who had struck her and her son after opening her car door. She told police she then proceeded to walk to his car so she could photograph his license plate when he knocked her to the ground. The footage shows the child's father leaning into Nelson's car. Nelson is also seen walking to the baby daddy's car and leaning into an open door. The father of the child then walked over and knocked her to the ground, according to the report. She allegedly then proceeded to attack the man until bystanders intervened. Nelson then allegedly fled the scene with her son before police arrived and said a friend had told her she would speak to the cops on her behalf. Charleston's County School District spokesperson Andy confirmed that Nelson had been placed on leave pending the outcome of the investigation. Because this is a personal matter and an active investigation, the district cannot provide any additional details at this time, he said. Oh, good gosh. She got herself in a world of trouble. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, regardless of what went down, I'm sure she's sitting wherever she's at saying, was it worth it?
Come on now, talk.
How did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably all, and that's the part that really gets you mad when you look back and say, you see it all so clear now. God, I should have walked away.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're looking at some jail time. That's a hard feeling knowing that. And because of somebody else, and you couldn't control your emotions,
mm-hmm.
and now you're someplace you don't want to be. It's unbelievable.
I appreciate you. Savannah, your thoughts?
You know, I hope she is somewhere analyzing and say, was it worth it? But I don't honestly think she is. I think that she was so obsessed with this man and a life that she thought she created in her head, and the threat of somebody taking that away, that nothing else or no one else mattered. And I know she has had to watch those Lifetime shows of For My Man or you know, I just don't understand how anyone can have that much power over your own actions. I mean, this was unnecessary, but she got caught in her own madness, and I hope she is somewhere contemplating, was it worth it? Because she has lost everything. That, I mean, to going from being Teacher of the Year and having a career in college and all that, I don't understand how anyone can be that hypnotized where they risk it all and end up losing on a dice roll. It's crazy.
Bananas. You ain't lying. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know what happened in that precise moment to make her go off. I think that we can all like create like this whole story, like, oh, she was this obsessed with this man or this, and that. It could have just been that he said something real foul to her and she lost it. I'm seeing that a lot of people are having anger management issues. And I don't know if it's just the stress of just dealing with everything in everyday life or just the energy of hearing about all of these negative things. But I'm seeing a lot of people just snap and just lose it. I don't know this lady. I can't necessarily say that, oh, she was obsessed with this man or wanted this man so bad. It could have really just been that he said something that really upset her in that moment. And she just lost it. Because we're seeing all these other people losing it. Yeah, I don't know. All I gotta say is this idea that people think they can have all of these physical confrontations with people. Life is not a movie. You try to run somebody over, you put your hands on somebody, what have you, you are gonna get locked up. And if you don't, you're probably going to get sued. You're going to have to get an attorney. All of these other things are going to happen. This is not a reality show where you can just go around and fight people and try to run people down and there's no consequences. And I really am starting to think that television and social media is affecting people's brains because people don't seem to understand consequence anymore. Yeah, I might be mad and I might be like, ooh, I wish I could run him over, but I'm not going to do it. I don't want to go to jail. So, but there's something that's missing where we're having a lot of people that don't really understand that I'm not going to do this because I don't want to go to jail. And I don't know. This woman is an educated woman. Something is really, really wrong that she couldn't take a beat, that no matter how much of an a-hole he was being, she couldn't say, you know what? I'm not going to jail over this. I'm getting out of here.
That
You
part.
know,
That
sad.
yeah. You ain't gonna make me snap that bad, especially with my child in the car. You got to move differently when you have kids. You just have to. I'm not gonna snap that bad where I'm about to run you over and I'm going blow to blow with you, and the kid is there. I'm just. It's not gonna happen. So that means you needed anger management issues way before that incident. In my opinion, your thoughts?
I'm probably about to shake the train, Diva. First of all, I'm not for sure we have the whole story of this confrontation because when I heard them say he hit her and she knocked down to the ground, he coming into her car, you invading somebody's personal space if you open my door. Okay, now you confronting me. And this is a man versus a woman. So I can see in that moment, she's like, look, I got to get away from here. Let's look at the story of Ramika Meeks. Okay? She took her child to school. Her baby dad and his new girlfriend came up and she's gone. So maybe she saw that on the news and she was like, I'm not going to be the next Ramika Meeks. We're in a dangerous world. But this is what I say when we need to use the legal system is not there. It's failing us. Because first of all, they should have been meeting somewhere in somebody's office, not a Walmart, to drop this child off. And he shouldn't be bringing his girlfriend to the meet off. Because that's always a recipe for a disaster. Just like she shouldn't be bringing her boyfriend to the meet off. I'm dealing with you because you're my baby daddy. And vice versa. You don't need no company to come get your kid. I'm sorry, unless you married, that person ain't got nothing to do with this. And then it's a 2 against 1. Imagine how she felt 2 against 1, and she's up here being harassed and hit. Yeah, I ain't for this. I'm not. I don't want no dang childish man putting his hands on no woman. Keep your hands to yourself. Okay? Don't invade my personal space. You better not open my car door.
I think he opened the car door to get the kid. I think that these two probably had a volatile relationship. once they broke up, or maybe even perhaps before. But the unfortunate part and the reason why she got arrested is because the camera's footage don't lie, right? You regardless, when even if you're having a regular fight with somebody, once that person walks away, you're no longer in danger, and it's supposed to end at that point. So she got in her car and she tried to run him over. The whole situation is problematic, but I think what got caught on the footage was more problematic, and that was the reason why she got arrested. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. Once she was back in her car, she had no more threat to her.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking away, and you trying to run me over. Now I don't know what went on between them arguing whatsoever, but let's flip the script. This is a teacher. So if you can't control your emotions when you on the out, how you controlling your emotions teaching my children? I mean, are you going to snap on them one day if they do something or say something? Or you going to cause conflict to my child that's in your classroom? I mean, these people got to think about the stuff that they do, because it reflects you regardless. Even if you at a Walmart, but you still a teacher, you teacher of the year. And you got this you got this on your record because you didn't think about your consequences at that point in time. Because this man is walking away, but you trying to run him over. And I'm not saying that she's guilty or what's up, but like you say, the footage shows itself. And the thing of it is, my mom used to tell me this a long time ago. Trouble is easy to get yourself into, but it's hard to get yourself up out of it. Now she gonna have to go through all this legal stuff and do this and that. And I'm quite sure they're not gonna let you ride no kids anymore, because look what you got, a felony on your record. So who's gonna hire you as a teacher? You have messed up your whole career over one person that you could have let win or whatever. I know you got kids with them, and my mom always say this too: be careful who you have children with, because you stuck with that person for the rest of your life and the rest of your child life. So the thing of it is, think about the consequences before you get into it. Think about the person that you with when you with them. If you see all kinds of blue and red and yellow flags, get your tail away, because now look at your life. And who's going to raise your child now? Because you're going to be behind bars unless they work out a deal or whatsoever. But baby girl, an olive of a man, somebody you can go find somewhere else. Girl, please. But we'll see what happens and good luck to her. And I'm sorry for the baby. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the baby. You ain't never, you better say it right there. I'm sorry for the baby, and good luck to her. And now your job is in jeopardy. So now the very man that maybe you was trying to keep the kid from may end up raising the kid, because you're not going to have no job. Like, come on, girl. You losing it over what? It ain't nothing could ever be that serious. Now, if he really punched the kid like you said, then that's a whole nother ball game. But then why you didn't go straight to the cops? She didn't go to the cops. So all of this egregious stuff allegedly happened to her. She didn't go to the cops. She was like, a friend said they was gonna go speak to the cops on my behalf. Girl, stop. You a whole teacher. Now you know that ain't even the way to do things. And if you had this good friend that was going to do that, that good friend should have came with you to this tumultuous drop-off so that it wouldn't go left. Listen, people, I appreciate y'all. Saturday night, with stuff to talk about. The TSA workers and all the government employees, my heart breaks for them, and so does it for the SNAP people, SNAP recipients too. A racism in the college, oh, good gosh. This young man, the happiest times in your life is the college years, some of the happiest times, right? And he got a $60,000 scholarship. I got to look up and see how much this school costs a year. And he worked so hard for it all his life, only to have to leave because of racism. Not grades, racism. And this teacher. Listen, I'm going to keep you posted on these stories. I appreciate y'all. You know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo, choo.
Choo, choo.
Choo, choo.